Boy, I feel like I just took my little victory lap. You know, my little Nipsey hustle, my pen hustle. You hear me? Because if you flip nip, it's pen. But anyway, videos on Welch, um, the Kappa Alpha order, because they put a cap on the order, right? Of the Alpha order, the tech, right? So anyway, I've made videos on that a long time ago, but I ain't gonna go into detail about that. These cameras is cute. But anyway, y'all be blessed. God, Death Gang is in the building. Cakes, nothing but cakes. Is Interceptor, because they thought they could intercept my blessedness. You hear me when I say, I'm giving y'all a sample whale, you know, because that's what that whale say. The whale sample, you know, because we are fishes. Shit. We all be blessed. At the crash pad, in the crash. It smell like nothing but motherfucking weed. That's why they call this area Highland. I'm stupid. If you look up, or you take out CH, you put SH, it's Welch, the same shit, but different meanings, right? Across the street over here is a quarter apartment. Who's on the quarter is Washington. He been washing shit because he's exactly the ones who put money on shit. Clearly, right? He put his own stuff on money. Anyway, at this corner is Betty. What it looked like beat. Thank you for the bet, pretty much, because they trying to beat you, because that's what they did in history in Roots, right? But anyway, and then Zen, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm zenning out because I know what this is, and I know it takes time to get to my pot of gold or whatever. But I'm zenning, and I enjoy doing what I do. And I'm not taking nobody's stories away from them and how they feel and what they believe in. I'm just giving you insight on what I believe in because I was given this information from source. And because I'm cooking, you know, because that's what McCormick do. They put that spice and that salt on there. St. John Paul 2, which is Roman numeral 2 or whatever. This dead ends, but then McCormick starts back over behind the fire station number 3, and they go all the way and lead all the way to Rose Garden, other cemetery, you know, the Rose Garden Cemetery, and the water tower. Let me show y'all that, and I'm done. I'm gonna save B, and it's a 9. Eagle Drive, West Eagle Drive or whatever, and this is the laundromat that I was talking about. They tore that down, and you see that they're building up. So they put a lot of dirt over here and shit like that because it wasn't no hill up here, you know. This is going up because that's what they're doing to these buildings. They're building up to distract you. See, I'm manifesting the fact that we live in the underground. Like, it started down below, you understand what I'm saying? In the cemetery and shit like that. It's down here. And they're building up or whatever, because every time they tear a building down in Denton, for some reason they put it up, but they put a lot of dirt and shit. This is weird as hell. But anyway, that's water, whatever. Roy's is right here, and there was a laundromat that was right here that they're covering up. They tore it down, covering up, and they're putting it up. But anyway, this is off Save B, Eagle Drive. UNT is over here, and if you was to back it up this street all the way, you'll see a Penn Tower. I think that's the new president building off of this street, and Maple's down there too. But anyway, Eagle Apartment and shit, you hear me? But anyway, that's Mean Green Joe Green building right there, and that just got put up there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's all art and shit. What building is that? I done forgot. But anyway, I think that's Kerr. I don't know. I think it is Kerr. But anyway, that's another dorm or whatever hall. Because we have universities in a lot of different cities, I'm not just talking about lots at Denton or in Denton, rather. You know, since I'm on the honor roll and shit, I'm on the roll. And this is the honor center. And it's funny how this is right here too. Smart people. You know, the police and the car wash right here off of Kendall. Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Kendall. You know? on Eagle Drive and shit like that. But anyway, listen now. You know, I'm not, because it came from one source is what I'm trying to say to you. And all these stories and these universities that are placed in your city, because it may be in other cities. You know, I really didn't pay attention and I don't live there. And if I was to live there, I probably would find the pieces to the puzzle too. But if this is the story of one source, you know, Denton is, then clearly it's the same story in every goddamn city. Y'all just need to wake up and pay attention to what the fuck is going on at the New York sub hub. And I know New York is the subway station hub where the Statue of Liberty is held and shit, right? But anyway, and she was in chains too, remember? And that's on the corner of Avenue C, which over on the other side is Save C, because it's South Avenue C. But anyway, Eagle Drive. Anyway, don't let me get to talking about Eagle or Oriental Express. But y'all be blessed. Maple Hall is right here, you know, because that's a tree, right? But anyway, point out because lot had it's a lot of lots over here at this university. You know, I had to point that out. Shit, again, manifest. And you know, I told you what they did with Lot's wife and shit. But anyway, Mozart Hall has 911 on their building. Numbers are 911 off of Eagle Drive. You to find out that you have power from source, because that's where you came from. Hell no. This shit wild in the bitch. But y'all be blessed. Goddess gang is in the building. And I'm out. I literally I'm dropping the mic. On railroad story, because that came from a source. The power source. You hear me? And remember, power that they're charging you is all underground. Water, electric, gas, naturally, you know. All that shit is getting charged to you. Make it make sense, y'all. I mean, damn. The ad earlier, I had made a video. Hopefully I'll get to embed it in here about the high land, because that's where IOOF is, because numbers are a factor too, because we're a numerical physical world and stuff like that. So I told y'all, if y'all take the H and the I, the high off of high, you get the G and the H. And the G and the H are down here by Charlotte, Stella, and Louise. There's 3 women. The Holy Trinity. But anyway, and if you look up 3 women, or the 3-headed monster, or you know what I'm saying, even Lot's wife, because if you take, they shard Lot's wife, you know, Charlotte and shit like that. This shit is so obvious or whatever. But anyway, it's a power substation that is hickory and oak, and I'm gonna tell you guys, we are trees too, because we are everything is us. We're trees, because we have roots and stuff, and we grow with water, and we have water in our bodies and all that shit, and we need sunlight to, you know what I'm saying, like all this shit, like chlorophyll, like trees do. But anyway, then we need food and all that other stuff, whatever, you know what I'm saying. We are connected. But anyway, Hickory and Oak Street sits off of the power grid, and that's the power grid that's keeping you down. But anyway, all of us down, really, you know, you hear me? All of what Eagle Drive down there looked like, past the little bridge to get to the other side, which is the other side of the tracks, right? The other side of the railroad tracks. Eagle Drive go all the way down there in the dead end to the south side, guys. Like, it's just showing you the stories that they telling us literally came from one source. Now the Eagle landed clearly over here as well, because this is the dead end, and I don't think Eagle Drive goes over there. And maybe it does, but I drove over there before, and I walked over there a little bit, but I don't think Eagle Drive is over there. Eagle Drive literally dead ends at this corner of I-35, which is if you add 3 and 5, that's an 8. That's a loop, right? Because we living in a loophole, and we in Denton have a loop 288, 288, right? And it's the first federal Underground Center. And if we look at the 65 men who signed the Declaration of Independence, they all are men who made money off of slaves. Who was the slaves? You know? It's obvious. Again, an airplane is that's my ego right here, because that's my confirmation. Because again, I'm manifesting. I want men to fess up. But anyway, I'm tired and I'm trying to rest. But now I'm finna go down Eagle Drive because it's a lot of water down there. Because it was 2 laundromats, but they tore one down. One was old, and now they only got one left. And UNT continues all the way down Eagle Drive, you know. But I showed y'all all of us over here, and they also have a car wash and a police station over here too for the college. And that is all, because hopefully y'all get it, and if you don't, oh well, I get it, and hopefully I'm enlightening, because I'm the light, you guys on what I see. I'm trying to show y'all the way to the gate in this universe city, at this university, you know. Because they put money on it, because they bet, right? They put merchandise this or whatever, industrialize us, hence this name merch, right? But it's spelled with an M-U-R, not M-E-R, mer. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what Jesus' God was, mer, right? But anyway, as I go on, should I proceed? Yes, indeed. You hear me? Ah! So in the name of the spelling spell, as you can see, Merchantson means sea warrior, but S-E-A, warrior, in Old English terms. And I told y'all that avenue over there, the street sign, says save C with the letter C. You know, because we're betting on the alphabet. We're betting on the alphabet. You know what I'm saying? So they switch up, that's the spell, lean, war that we in. Because if you flip war, it's Mars, and you know, NASA made Mars and all that stuff. It's like, because it's all connected to the same alpha that we're supposed, the sky daddy and shit. But anyway, again, like, because this Merchantson is directly parallel to the Texas Armory, which is down the street and parallel to the airport and shit like that. I told y'all we was living in the hot air balloon gas, a bubble, because we are getting fried, electrocuted, in multiple ways, gas chambers. And you know, like I keep telling you guys, if you watch Jumper, what they did with the stick, and they popped a dude who was a jumper and they fried him and he could not jump anymore, that type of shit. If you understand, all of these movies and everything came from one source. Even this world that we live in, these stories that they tell us, where they place these buildings at, we living in a universe that is parallel, and this is a universe city, and then city as a C-I-T-Y, and this actually is a universe city, which is a S-I-T-Y. You understand what I'm saying now? Maybe you don't. Again, music plays a factor because it's a frequency. The fact that this is a performing arts center, because it's an art that they did, and this is Mozart, and we all know he stole from people, you know. But anyway, and they stole the stories from one source. I hope y'all get it now. Okay, and I forgot to tell y'all that this street that Gateway Center and stuff sits off of on the corner is Eagle. So the Eagle has landed on the moon. You know, that headstone by the cemetery, which is Independent Order of Odd Fellows, because it's an order and it's odd, and it's fellows who made this order, right? And the headstone moon sits off of Eagle Drive in Cairo, right? Which they again, if you split it up, it's car roll, because this is a vessel, this is our car, and we're rolling the car, but we don't understand that we're rolling in the car. But they put money on their I meant I'm gonna show you what the name meant. Damn, jeez, my mind is going crazy right now. You hear me? It was Texas Armory that is over there, and on the map I circled it, and the blue dot is where I'm at. And earlier, the picture that's prior to that picture where I circled where this Texas Armory was or is where Margie Street is, and that's my grandmother's name, and it's my nickname, you know, like Nickelodeon and to grandmother's house we go and all that shit, because we are our ancestors and stuff. You know, I'm trying to find the gateway, the way of the gate that's keeping us trapped and shit like that. But I'm gonna show y'all what Murchison looks like in the front by screenshot, because I don't feel like walking way over there, because that's where the bridge is, the gateway, right? Anyway, to get to the other side actually. And then I'm gonna show you what it looked like, because it looked like an alien head. You know, when you get off this Highway 35 little passageway, bridge, walkway, whatever, that's Mozart with the needle right there on top, the little bell tower. That's Mozart dorm room, and the Gateway Center is the next one next to it, and parallel to the Gateway Center is Murchison Performing Arts. Just to point that out too. Something to think about, or to know about. You should know. If you live in it, you should. You know, some people will not wake, and then some people are woke, and it's not their destiny or in their contract, because we're all contracted beings. Anyway, to know this information, you need people like me to point out the pinpoint, the needle in the haystack. You hear me? The needles, because there's a whole bunch of them. Just realized that Underwood is way the fuck over here, and Underwood literally is over there, off of fire station number 3. But it's all the way. You cross the bridge, you come past Save C. When you flip, Save C is C Save. You hear me? And Knight was on that corner, Save C, and then Underwood. It's right here, off of the I-35, and the dead ends and shit like that, which is weird because it's literally parallel. If I was to do that, it's parallel. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay. I'm paying attention now. I see. Okay, so we've been merchandised, and this is Murchison rather, Performing Arts Center and shit. And to me, it's shaped like an alien head, you know, because we are aliens and we're musical beings and we're electronics beings, and we have the frequency of music and all that. Whatever, you understand, because we all connected or whatever. We all are connected as one, to be exact. You hear me? North Texas. Okay, so I ain't done, because clearly I'm still walking. Oh, across the street is DATQ, which used to be another name, Stadium, which the stadium was on the side of the Performing Arts Center, but they tore it down. Like I said, they distract or create chaos, and they put it over here on this side. And then it was named something else, and then they named it DATQ after a bank or whatever. And that is parallel to the Army base over there. Where's it? Marine, U.S. Federal Reserve. Something. I'm gonna go down there and show you. I probably won't, but you know, I'll point it out on the map, because the airport down here on Airport Drive and shit. You hear me? There's a sign off the highway. That sign is Teasley, Lillian Miller. You know, the 4 L's and shit. You know what the knight do on the chessboard. You hear me? On the chessboard off of I-35, that's parallel to fire station number 3. You see the 7-Eleven? Anyway, and the chiropractor, and it's also parallel to the Alien Dome, the music hall at UNT, and that's where I'm headed. You hear me? Headed. So again, I asked myself when I went to Nothing But Cakes and seen the word Inceptor on the ground, what does that mean? I took a screenshot of the definition and it says the beginning. But the beginning of what? You know? And because I question everything and I understand how this life works in this chessboard and all that stuff and everything, and because they're making an ass out of themselves and stuff, like, y'all. In the Bible, it says in the beginning. And inceptor means a beginning, a beginner. Let me make sure. Because we've been being tricked by so many alliances, been French kissed by the French, and been played by the British, because if you look at the 1776 Declaration of Independence, who they were talking about is the British prince or king or something like that in the beginning. Y'all. And then if you look at the word inceptor, it means the beginning of something, introducing something. And then it says something about, in British terms, you getting a master's degree. Wait a minute. The butt of a joke for a long goddamn time. And it ain't funny no more. But y'all be blessed. Cause God, this game is in the building. This vessel, you hear me? Because it's a car, and a roof, and a tree, and all that shit. We are everything. And everything is you. Mary J. Blige said that best. You know, since we're going to continue the story of the Underground Railroad by the Federal, the first Federal Underground Center in Denton, off of Loop 288. But we ain't living in no loop. Y'all better believe it. And man need to fess up to what they did since we manifesting. Fess up now. And you know, I had a birthday, so you know, Nothing But Cakes give you a free cake for your birthday. And so when I pulled up, I was like, what the hell is this? I always see it on the ground. And it says Interceptor Park Management. But I'm going to show y'all what it say, y'all. Because it's two of them. Interceptor, and it says Park Equipment. And you see 888, 911, and 611. And it says Star right here and all that shit. And it's right here by Nothing But Cakes. Nothing But Cakes. Yeah, with the rainbows and shit. But they just now turned it into Texaco, because you know they like changing shit and stuff like that. But 7-Eleven is a dice game, craps. But anyway, I looked up the word interceptor, because at first I thought it was inception. That's why I came back, because I was like, inception, that don't make sense or whatever. But interceptor don't either, especially dealing with the parks and stuff. I'm gonna show y'all what the fuck interceptor mean. Yeah, but the third one, and with the two dots or whatever, that's just regular sewer water or whatever. So that's just so weird to me, right? You see that? Sunflower? I woke up and I was like, I had a dream about something. I don't remember what it, I do remember, but I don't want to say it. But anyway, Panda Express, you know, that's red, black, and white, you know, yin and yang. And then LA Fitness, also look at Perfect Finish, and then Frost Bank, as they just got that there though. I don't know how long this LA Fitness been there, but it's been there for a minute. But it's right across the street from Buffalo Wild Wings and Kroger's or whatever. That's these two buildings and stuff like that. But it's also parallel to Lowe's and Walmart. That shit wild in the bitch. also parallel to Denton Crossing. I just had to cross the street like the chicken and shit like that, right? So Denton Crossing and Brinker is right here. Now I told Brinker Road in this what is this? Okay, I told a story yesterday and I made a mistake. I always get Brinker in Colorado wrong. But this is the American Legion, right? And the dead ends, Brinker dead ends here. Now Brinker Road goes all the way to Buc-ee's. Spencer Street that I'm on still. And Spencer has those water things or whatever, the waterways, I don't know what they're called, ship channel looking things or whatever, that lead all the way down to Buc-ee's and all the way on the hood. This is Spencer Generating Power Plant. And I was hoping that it didn't rain today because I was going to walk the MLK bridge today over there by Target. Like, everything has a meaning. But anyway, what I wanted to say was I made a mistake yesterday because I said that Brinker Road leads, Colorado Road leads to Buc-ee's, but it doesn't. It leads to the medical park. Y'all hear what I said? Medical park. Now again, let me show you what inceptor means, because it has the word incest in it. I had to point that out right quick. And then if you flip toward the last three letters in inceptor, it's right. But anyway. To Winco, the police was following me, and I'm like, what the hell? So I stopped out to the gas station to get my little cigarette or whatever, and they circled around me, and I'm like, what the hell? And the guys in the gas station was like, what you do? I'm like, nothing, shit, they just try to harass somebody, but they can't, or whatever. So I got in my car and I did a pause after I pulled off to act like I was pulling off, and I did, and I sat there for a minute, and then he come chasing me. But then he just, I did something, I waved my arm, and then he took off. That was kind of weird. But anyway, right now I'm off of Texas Presbyterian, because you know that's the church and everything like that, which is off of Scripture Street, as well as, oh Lord, what is this street? Bonnie Bray. So as I was riding up this way, up this hill, to get to past Scripture Street to go to Winco, you know, I passed this street called Charlotte, which is capitalized, and Stella, which is capitalized. And I looked at Stella and I was like, how Stella got her groove back, ha ha ha. Then I looked at the word and I was like, okay, it looked like it's steal. You know, like they just stole from us, S-T-E-A-L. And then I was like, ha, it also looked like stale, which is weird because you know these words are spells and everything like that. And so right after Stella is a street called Oak and Hickory, and they have this substation. Now I'm on the other side because I'm going home now, so I'm going down. Now I was going up, but anyway, so Hickory and Oak is a double street, and then it's Oak, which the first stop sign. Let me turn my camera. Let me show you. So this is Hickory Street substation, and this is a power station or whatever, and that's off of Oak Street or whatever, right after the Scripture Street. And then you get to Oak and Hickory, like Hickory Dickory Dock Street, because that's two, you know, words or whatever. And so then you have these apartments, which is Bonnie Green Apartments, that's what that say, by Struggle Management. And then the first street sign is Stella, and then the second street sign is Charlotte, and then the third street sign is, sorry, I'm gonna do a circle so I can show you guys that this is Louise or whatever, Lois with the E, right? So anyway, about Avenue H the other day, H and G or whatever, off High, you know, because this is High Street. But anyway, so listen, it's a lot of construction over here. You see this little arrow or whatever that leads to Charlotte Street, and it stops at Charlotte after it. but it leads all the way to that substation up there or whatever. And what the hell was I getting ready to say? I forgot. But oh, about Stella. Like, I'm gonna show you the word Stella, because if you rearrange Stella, it's like S-tail-A, as tail, right? Because we're flipping the words, because this is a big ass scramble board and shit. And then if you flip it again, it's steel, and if you flip it again, it's stale. And then this is off of Avenue H. So what I was trying to say is, because this is a new port. You hear what I'm saying? New port. This is the port of new, right? But listen now, because it get deeper. As I was driving up this way today, and again, that's the power station, the Hickory Dickory Dock power station, right? So as I was driving the other day, or actually just now, I was like, damn, because we grow like trees, right? And so they act as though we don't, right? But we have everything a tree has. This is Avenue G right here. Avenue G right here cuts over right here, and then it goes to the Union, which is weird. But I had to point that out because I talked about betting on the alphabet, shit like that. The spells. Right. Okay, so anyway, they treat us like we not trees, but we really are, right? And we have roots, right? But they try to make it seem like we don't. But in history, we have roots, just like they made that movie Roots, right? And I talked about that movie Roots, and hopefully you're following me. You'll see what I'm talking about. You know how we got captured on a slave ship and shit. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. So I turned down this street. Is in the environmental science building, which has the planetarium, is on this here street that I'm on right now. God damn it, something in my eye. And this is University of North Texas. Now this is Hickory Dickory Dock now. Hickory that I'm on. That's the environmental science, and the next one is the chemistry building. And the chemistry building is shaped like a periodic table, they said, of elements and shit. You understand what I'm saying? Or you understand where I'm going with this? Then I used to work in a building across the street from the CBS building where the heart is. You hear me? This is the heart of CBS. And this building that I used to work at was the old president's building of the University of North Texas. But now it is the science building. And then you get to Fry Street, because that's what they did to us, fry us like they did the dude in Jumper. F-R-Y, Fry. I don't know if y'all can see that, and it's the center and shit. And this is the street where everybody be partying and stuff like that. All the little college kids come out in the street and they party and stuff like that. Y'all, if this ain't the walking goddamn Bible and we literally are living in a movie, it is so fascinating to me that people are not seeing this. But again, I have to point out stuff because I am a little advanced and I see things and I think, and then I get done. And so I keep going down Hickory Street, and you'll eventually turn into the police station, and then you get X position, and you flip it, it's position X. And then you get the courts and all of that stuff right there. And I actually got to reading the 1776 Declaration of Independence, and I had posted some of the stuff that was in it, because I was just like, this don't make sense, and what does this word mean, and all that other stuff, but it old English whatever times or whatever. And I was just like fascinated what I found out, y'all. Like, this is like sad. But anyway, again, I'm on Hickory Street, and this is where the brown signs are. Marietta is one, Denton is one, Williams is another, and Hickory is a brown sign over here as well. Like, brown signs. I'm talking about street signs with white letters. And I'm passing Williams and Hickory right here. And again, we are roots. We are trees. And anyway, so what I'm trying to say is the ending of my story is we alpha spell where they bet on the alpha. And so English was created by the alpha bet because they bet on the alpha, right? So when I look at words, I look at them differently. And because I know that we are under a spell, certain words really don't mean what they mean, you know? So Stella, like I said, I looked at that word and it looked like steel, and then stale. And so then when I kept driving the next block up, because the streets have a story too, you know, the next street up was past Stella is Hickory, and then if you go the other way it's Oak, right? So that's weird trees, so they're stealing from the trees, right? You know, like they're trying to stump them other tree and shit. So anyway, after Hickory or Oak Street, the next street sign up is Scripture Street, but it ain't for a little ways down because the Vintage apartment complex and they got houses over there, so it's like a little ways down, which is weird to me that the streets have these types of stories, like these hills have eyes type shit, because they said it's hills, right? It really is mountain, right? But anyway, like, I mean, who am I? So anyway, as I drive up Hickory Dickory Dock and shit like that, you know, I'm passing this old Atlantis Castle. It don't look like it's supposed to be there. That's on the square, because that's where they're keeping us, in the box and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so, and I passed Locust, because Locust is in the Bible as a revelation, right? Right. So anyway, I passed that big ass bank, because that's what we are, you know, banks of information. But we are being fried by the power here, and we forgot a lot about who we are as people. We got industrialized. You understand what I'm saying? As I'm passing an industrial street. But again, I had teachers like Mr. Russell, look at that, off Corn Kids, that taught me a lot of shit about taxes, and all kind of things, like Miss Macon. And then anyway, as I get to Liberty Bell Street, you come to Denton Fire Station, which this is a Central Fire Station right here. Central, off of Bell. Now, I done talked about this goddamn area too, but I'm still on Hickory, right? So I'm gonna pass the railroad street, the Underground Railroad that's off of the same Hickory Dickory Dock. And it literally runs right into the courthouse. But we ain't kept in no box. And I ain't gonna tell you what I'm passing, because I told you we passed the Exposition Street, which passed these two tracks that I walked yesterday. And then these green signs are down here, and this is the A train. This is Hickory and Railroad. I mean, actually the railroad street, like the Underground Railroad and stuff, because that's what they doing or whatever. And we're spiraling out of control, because that's what they want us to do. They wanted to still us got a groove back type of a shit, and Mary Magdalene us type of shit. But you know, because some people break generational curses, because this is what it is, it's generational curse. This is position exposition. You know, I talked about this street as well, and you see that building right in front of that bus. That is the courthouse, pretty much, and it literally runs right into here. But as we pass them, we pass in clean energy, because that's what they're saying. We dirty though, you know. And this really pretty much is Atmos, famous Amos with the cross of the T. You know what I'm saying? Atmos, what makes it the gas. You know, like I said, we in a gas bubble. So anyway, I'm traveling down, and we're gonna pass. This is the hood area, so this is the other side of the tracks, clearly, right? Because that all these stories came from one goddamn source or whatever. And then we pass Wood Street right here by this Pleasant Grove Church, right? Baptist church. And off of Wood Street down there, it's a park called Carl Gene, Gene though, you know, Gene, because it's in the genes, it's the roots, right? So anyway, as I get to Rudale, because they've been rude as motherfucking hell, these apartments are called Renaissance, because that's, and then Solomon Hill, because that's the top of that sign right there, and we literally run right. I mean, you can drive right on up to the courthouse, and then you can go run right up to the motherfucking jail. Like, that don't even make sense, right? Because the apartments is right here, literally. It's weird, but because I know why things got placed in this world the way they did, in divine timing, we just had to pay attention and wake up to see what the hell they were doing, right? Because again, the police was trying to hit me up earlier, and it was all because of that sign right there, that blue sign right there. But I'm not gonna do their job for them, you know. You see, run your computer, because that's what this is, right? Run your computer, and you will see that I am completely legal. So anyway, we passed this bridge, and this is again, they have puzzle pieces over on this side, but not on this side, because that one goes to the wood row, because they lined us up in a motherfucking row. You hear what I'm saying? This is the MLK Center, which sits off Newton, like Sir Isaac Newton, and it sits off Newton and Wilson, and it's right across the street from the Section 8 office. Y'all, I'm tired. Like, and then all these churches over here. One is called Hope. I'm really tired trying to explain it, but I'm really trying to find different ways, and you may get sick of me, but I don't really care, because I really want you guys to open up your eyes and see that we are free electrical beings, and we are getting fried, and the streets have the stories if you pay attention. The Frederick Douglass Moore, he just wanted more, you know what I'm saying? So they talk about these escaped slaves and stuff like that, like Harriet Tubman. And remember, if you're watching me, I hit my head on the tub, man, and I really get downloads just like Moses in the movie Harriet Tubman. I'm telling you guys, I know who the fuck I am. Y'all need to wake up and realize who the fuck you are. This is Lakey in Wilson. I made several stories of that, because Wilson is just like the basketball. Anyway, y'all be blessed, God, gang. Goddess, I keep saying that, is in the building.